here we are at Amateur Olympia. You not only won your class, but you took the flippin' overall.
I think it's been probably a month and a half now, and I'm still like digesting that I actually won the show because I wasn't expecting to even win my class.
Like,
I was like,
it
oh, mind blowing.
was so incredible. All right, gents and ladies, welcome back to my channel. I'm your host, Val Lasfardi, and I'm here to talk all things fitness, health, and I love to interview fellow IFBB pros. Today, I've got Xuan on. She is a fit model pro, earned her pro card this year, took the overall, and we'll get into all of that. And I had the wonderful opportunity to finally meet you in person when we both competed at Battle of the Bodies, Janet Leog's Battle of the Bodies.
It's a really good show, yeah.
Yeah, it was
It's
so
a long
fun.
show. It was fun. It was a good learning experience for me because that was my first travel show I'd ever done. It
And
was
then it was
it
just
was a
like,
lot.
yeah, it's a lot when you are packing and figuring how to peak and how to travel and make sure you're drinking your water.
Yeah.
What do you think was like the hardest part of the travel with like peak week and travel?
I think just figuring out all the stuff I needed, because typically whenever I'm traveling anywhere, I'm one of those that waits until the very last minute to start packing, and that's what I did for that show, which I learned was not ideal for when you're competing and trying to peak and be not stressed out. So that was something I needed to learn the hard way. And that's typically how I like to learn things, apparently, is just learning the hard way by making myself suffer through it and just processing the whole experience through the negative impact that comes with it.
So it's like that last minute, you're like, oh yeah, and then I need this. Oh, and then I need
Yeah.
that. Yeah, one of those. And where do you live again? Remind me where you live.
I'm in Dallas, Texas.
Okay, so you're in Texas
It
and
wasn't
that.
too bad. I think also another thing I didn't really take into account was the humidity difference between Texas and Florida, because Florida is a lot more humid. I think it
Mhm.
actually rained that weekend too for that show, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I came in a little bit more watery than I wanted to because of that. And I think I actually also flew in the day of check-ins. So that was another factor. So I learned through that process to just come in a few days earlier so your body can acclimate to the climate.
And just kind of de-stress. I love to do that too. I think that's a really good thing to be able to do. I'll typically come in the day before check-ins or two
Yeah.
days before, just depending on, we got work and families and stuff like that to figure out. But yeah, I agree with you. That's a big thing. How was it with the food, like packing your food? How did you do that?
I think I didn't pack as much as I should have. And I think also one of the things we learned from that experience was that I should not eat shrimp at all during peak week because it inflames me. So I think that was another
Oh, no
factor to
way.
why I came in watery, because I ate shrimp during that peak week. And then for Amateur Olympia, we took out the shrimp. So I was just eating like ground beef and rice basically for every single meal, and then egg whites. So just learning that certain foods to avoid when you're traveling, especially and just generally during peak week, that was another thing I learned from that experience.
Yeah. So how do you eat in shrimp throughout prep? It just was like the peak weeking with more of that consistency with the foods. You found it.
Yeah, yeah, I think with the prep for Amateur Olympia, that was kind of like the best prep I had, even though it wasn't that long between the two shows. I think it was only like 3.5 weeks between Janet's show and the Amateur Olympia. But after that experience, I figured out that like that whole thing that people say about eating whole foods makes a difference. I learned that that is true.
Yeah, yeah, having that consistency, eating more whole
Yeah.
foods so you can really see how your body responds and make those like macro adjustments that you need to instead of kind of flying by the seat of your pants. Yeah, I'm sure for like that experience with the travel and everything, it was kind of eye-opening, right, for you.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. And so you just mentioned like it was about 3.5 weeks from Battle of the Bodies where we both competed at the same show to when you did Amateur Olympia, which is where you took first and then took the overall, getting your pro
Yeah.
card, all that incredible stuff. And before we move into that, I kind of just jumped ahead and started asking you questions because
I
you're
know we
talking
just dove
about
right in.
travel and prep. I know, because travel and prep is a big part for a
It's a
lot of
lot.
athletes, right? It really is. It's something that I have been doing for years, because I've been competing for almost 10 years now. And
Wow,
it's so
yeah.
I typically like there's only one pro show here in Salt Lake, and it's the Wasatch Warrior in April. And there's only once that I've ever been in the season of competing where I was able to compete at that show, and it was back in 2019. So
Oh my goodness.
whenever I compete, I am all over the place. I am not here in Utah. So
Yeah.
um and I had like kind of pushed Wasatch Warrior on you, like I had sent you that post a
I know
couple
I
weeks
saw that
ago.
I was like, that is enticing. So yeah.
Yeah, because Robin, who is the promoter, she's also my friend, and she just announced that she's going to have Fit Model Pro show at Wasatch Warrior and for the Masters 40 Fit Model, which is really exciting.
Really? I didn't even notice that. I don't
Yeah.
know qualify, but that's good to know though.
Yeah. So you're not that old,
Not yet. I've got
right?
like 3 more years left.
Okay. Yeah. I'm like, and
Yeah.
you don't even look that old. Oh my
Thank
gosh.
you. Thank you.
Amazing. Yeah, fun stuff with the traveling, and I think it's like a really important thing for people to realize. Like, there's a lot that goes into the travel. But I want to like officially introduce you. So you are Swan, the Fit Model Pro. Your Instagram handle is X underscore Vanquisher, right?
Yeah.
Minus the E.
Minus the E.
Minus the E. And what does that allude to? Is it like the cosplay stuff that you like to do?
No, it's actually a funny story involving my middle name. So whenever I became a citizen, they give you the opportunity to change your name. So I thought I'd be cheeky and just change my middle name to something cool. So my original middle name was V, which is a Vietnamese name. So I was like, I want to keep the same initial, but I want to change it to something cool. And so Vanquisher was just a word that I picked that sounded like badass,
No
and then they
way.
let me do it. So that's the story of the Instagram handle. I'm Vietnamese, so I was born in
Oh,
Vietnam
Vietnamese.
and
That's what
came
you
to the
said. Sorry.
States.
Sorry.
Yeah, so I came to the States when I was 3, and then I didn't really make it a priority to become a citizen until like 2018 was when it happened.
No way.
So yeah, and then
That's
they
really
gave me the
cool.
opportunity to change my name, and then I just decided to keep my Vietnamese name and just change the middle name to something cool.
Amazing. And so your first name, is it pronounced Swan? Is that the way it's pronounced?
It's kind of like the Americanized pronunciation, so it's actually pronounced Xuan, and it means spring in Vietnamese. But it was harder for Americans to say it, so I just kept going by Swan because that's what everybody kept saying, and it just stuck.
I got it.
Yeah,
Like I already just forgot what you said. How do you say it again? Sorry.
one.
Swan.
Yeah,
You're
the
like, no,
Swan's
just give
easier,
up.
and then like it makes it easier for me to tell people how to pronounce my name because then I do like Flappy Bird. It's like Swan the
Yeah.
Bird.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So have you gone back to Vietnam through the years since you came to
I
live in
went
the US?
back when I was 12 in middle school, but I kind of didn't enjoy it as much as I think I would if I would have been an adult going back, just because I was kind of a privileged Americanized kid, and we were like from the countryside, so we didn't have like working plumbing or anything, so that was an adjustment for me. But it's a beautiful country and it's like way more developed now, so I want to go back eventually.
I really want to go to Vietnam. We're actually like that's on the top of our list to take our family. We want to go somewhere in Asia next year, and
Yeah,
that's like we're
Vietnam's a
hoping we
fun
can find
place.
some good deals.
Yeah,
So maybe I'll have to pick your brain if we find a good airline deal, and you can
there's
tell
really
us
good
where
food in
where to
Vietnam, and everything's super affordable out there when you travel, so I think that's a good place to go.
so amazing, so amazing. So other things you like to do cosplay, and you were saying that you're like a buff model. Tell us more about that. What do
Yeah,
you
the modeling thing kind of came about because of bodybuilding. So after I did my first show, because I had had some photographer friends tell me that I should model, and I thought they were just like jerking me around. So like, I don't know what you're talking about. So it's just one of those things where I thought they were just like, you know, kidding me around. And then I did the bodybuilding thing, and it kind of gave me the confidence to pursue that. And I was like, hey, maybe I should like see what this is about. So I signed up for a photo shoot to celebrate doing my first show, and then it kind of spiraled into just meeting other photographers and just getting into modeling through that.
That's amazing. And
But
your
it kind of
friends are
just,
right
yeah.
on.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's been a very fun experience for me. Like, I think it's given me a creative outlet just to play around with all the posing stuff because it does tie a lot into the bodybuilding posing too. So this is basically just creating shapes with your body, but just not on the stage.
I love that. And it gives you a lot of practice. So when you are on the stage, I mean, we don't have that long on the stage to represent and present our routines and stuff. So it's
Yeah.
like you want to stand out, which you clearly do and have.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yes. So what were you doing before you started bodybuilding?
Before I started bodybuilding, I think I was just kind of in a lost space where I was trying to figure out what I was about. I didn't start bodybuilding until I was 35 was when I did my first show. Prior to that, I was kind of wandering about in the fitness sphere and I did know about bodybuilding as a thing and it was always something I kind of wanted to do but never thought I would be good enough to try until I turned 35. I had this like moment where I was like, you know what, I qualify for masters, maybe it's time now. And prior to that, I had been working with my coach Stephanie McKibben. I joined the Pro Physique New Year's Transformation Challenge just to lose the COVID pounds I had gained, and also I had gained about 50 pounds with my daughter when I had her, so I was trying to lose that weight too on top of the COVID pounds. So I
So
think
how old's
prior,
your daughter? Was she
my
born in
daughter
like
is 8 now. She turned 8 at the beginning of this month. Yeah. So I have an
and
8-year-old, and my older son is 19 now, so the big gap between the two kids.
oh yeah, that is. I was just going to ask if you
Yeah.
have any other kids. So an 8 and a 19-year-old. You guys, you hear that? You can compete at any age, no matter what. Any age. It's so true. Yeah. So you started just only 3 years ago, and the goal was just to lose some COVID weight. So you joined
Yeah.
that Team Pro Physique Transformation Challenge and working with Coach Steph, who I love. I think she's amazing.
She's awesome. I love her.
And how did like so you did that? I'm sure you saw great success, is what it sounds like. And then what were you just looking at posts from Pro Physique of competitors and you were like, maybe this is up my alley? Like,
It kind of started actually back in 2014, my interest in bodybuilding. So at that time, I was in the process of leaving my ex-husband. So I was going through a lot whenever I did kind of spark the interest in getting into fitness stuff because I think I used that as an outlet to kind of deal with my feelings from all of that. Because it wasn't like a pretty situation because it was an abusive marriage. So it was hard to kind of get out of that for me. There was a lot of
yeah.
turmoil inside of me that I had to deal with, and I found going to the gym and figuring out like the scary weight section where all the big burly men were it helped me process through all like the terrible emotions I was going through at the time.
Hmm.
But like
I
venturing
love.
into the gym, like before that, I was more so a cardio bunny because I grew up in a time where the ideal look, I guess, for women was to be like as skinny as possible and kind of like be as small as you could. So venturing into the weight section of the gym was scary for me. So I kind of found bodybuilding through just looking up YouTube videos on how to do like weight exercises, I guess. Because I had no idea what I was
No,
doing. So I used YouTube as a resource to figure out like what's this machine do, what am I supposed to be training, that sort of stuff. I think eventually I landed on Paul's YouTube channel, and that's how I found Pro Physique.
no way. So you had been watching Paul's YouTube for quite some time before you decided
Yeah,
to join one of the challenges. Yeah, that's incredible. And I love that during such a time of turmoil that you found an outlet through resistance training. I have a like a similar situation like postpartum depression
yeah,
and this it was the same type of idea of like getting into that. And there is a lot of vulnerability that comes from that because it does seem scary. You see these dudes sometimes they're like grinding and huffing and puffing and you're like, "Oh, I'm just this like little female in here." But then you find that it gives you the confidence and you can take up space, you know?
yeah. I think that's like one of the things I love the most about it is like it gave me permission to take up space and just be whatever version of myself I wanted to be, try to fit into the box that society tells me I should fit into as far as how I should look.
Yes. And
I
I
think in a
think
lot of
too,
ways it also, like, the physical strength that helped me build also helped me build the mental fortitude to just deal with all the things I had been going through at that period of my life. So it helped me just heal upstairs too, while it was helping me just get stronger.
and then you got that confidence to move into some competing after.
Yeah.
It gave you that little nudge in that direction. And so, when was your first show?
My first show I did was June of 2024. It was the Dallas, I can't remember the official name, like Dallas Championships. It was a pro amateur show. I remember that. So I remember Ashley Kay was actually at that show, so that was fun to see her there.
Yeah,
Around the time I like kind of dug deeper into bodybuilding, she was Miss Olympia at the time in 2015, which kind of is a full circle moment because like Fit Model is the 2015 Ashley Kay look.
exactly. Exactly. So with that show, you were doing bikini because Fit Model hadn't been introduced until the following year. And what prompted you to switch from bikini to the Fit Model, this new Fit Model division?
I think it was just taking a step back and just looking at myself in the mirror and accepting that I wasn't dense enough for bikini and where the criteria of the division has headed with what they're awarding. So it was kind of a hard transition for me, to be honest.
Yeah, tell me about that because I know a lot of people who you'll hear them talk about Fit Model, especially when it was first introduced, that they were like,
Yeah,
oh, this is ridiculous. Like, I don't want to downgrade to Fit Model. Like, it was all this like negative talk.
yeah,
I wouldn't say all, but there was a lot out there
there was
of
a
like,
lot.
yeah,
If I'm gonna be honest, like I think I was one of those people when it was first announced because it's like you spend all this time training to build all this muscle and then all of a sudden this new division gets introduced and it's like less muscle. And it's like I spent all these years working towards this and now it's like you don't have to have as much muscle. But then in reality, it's not the case at all because Fit Model is still pretty dense. It's just not as dense as bikini.
yeah, I think there is that. Like, I agree with you that there's this level of like the conditioning. So
Hmm.
for that bikini needs to have that Fit Model doesn't need to have, but I fully
Yeah.
agree that it's still a muscled division. It's still a bodybuilding competition. And with, that transition for you to Fit Model, did your training change at all? Like,
No, my training actually was the same. I think if anything, it probably got more intense because with Stephanie, I do my own training, so she handles more of like the macro side and giving me feedback on what to work on and a little bit of guidance here and there. But I like to do my own training. It's just like one of those personal things that I have to have. I think it's just one of those like weird trauma things where I have to have that area of control over my body. It's just one of those things, like those hangups that I have that it's hard to let go of.
yeah, yeah, and it's nice because still with Stephanie, I'm sure that she will give you feedback from time to time, or maybe you have like a
Yeah.
mentor or something that's like, okay, we need to bring this area up or focus a little bit more volume here or things like that.
Yeah, she actually did give me like a sample training program that was kind of more glute focused that I worked off of in my off season, getting ready for going into this season. It was a lot more glute focused, so I actually ended up training glutes more frequently for Fit Model, but the training style is the same as bikini, at least in my case. I think that's for most Fit Models. That's the case, where the training still stays the same.
Yeah, and that's what I've seen firsthand too, because I coach bikini and Fit Model clients, and I also have some bikini pro friends that I know that are transitioning to Fit Model.
That's
So when the Fit
exciting.
Model, yeah, and I have not seen their training change. Like they're still
Yeah,
training with a lot of intensity, but it is just they don't have to worry about getting as lean. Is like
yeah.
really what I'm noticing is what it comes down to. So yeah, I think that's like just a misconception that some people have of like, oh, it's a less muscle division. Training might be different, but no, you are still training your tushy off in the gym. You
Yes,
are pushing hard.
literally.
Right? Yeah. And I even saw the other day in your stories, you've got is it 2 plates per side on your glute bridges now?
Yeah, I was so proud of myself because I've only been able to do like one plate because hip thrusts are not an exercise I can just do extremely heavy weights on for whatever reasons.
Well, I'm
It's
sure it's
a win for me post prep. Just with prep, you have to not train it so hard or else you'll injure yourself. So it's exciting for me to be able to put 2 plates on there again.
Yeah, that's huge. And I'm sure that it helps that you're eating more food. You've got more
But yeah,
energy.
I do. It's nice being able to train harder.
Yeah. So how many, well, before we get into that, let's talk about earning, like winning your pro card. So Battle of the Bodies, where we saw each other 3.5 weeks later. Like, what was your feedback at Battle of the Bodies? What did you do differently? I know you'd mentioned a little bit about food, but going into Amateur Olympia.
So for Battle of the Bodies, we came in at the same conditioning basically as when I won the Phil Heath overall. So that was my first show that I did in Fit Model back in June of this year. So my feedback for that show was not to change a thing. So we kind of went into Battle of the Bodies trying to bring in that same look to see what the feedback would be. So that's kind of like an interesting thing, just seeing like how the divisions evolved. Because back in June they told me not to change anything, but at Janet's show they told me I needed to come in more conditioned, just a little bit more conditioned, and with fuller glutes. That was universally the feedback from all of the judges. So I was able to get feedback from all five judges, and they gave me the same feedback. So a little bit more condition, fuller glutes. And then for Tim Gardner, he told me specifically for my core, just because my core wasn't as detailed, to just come in more detailed in the core, just to bring the entire look together, just to
Yeah.
balance out the top and the bottom with my core, which I guess
Yeah,
goes
I
into the
think that
whole
that
balance factor.
yeah, the balance factor and how just the fit model division is already evolving. Like we're not even a
Yeah.
full year in, but they want more, they ask for more conditioning for you. So you took that to Amateur Olympia.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting too because specifically with Tim, I showed him a photo of my stage shots from when I did NPC Nationals in December of last year, and he said, "Yeah, bring that look." So we basically came in at my bikini stage weight for NPC Nationals, and we actually ended up overshooting it by a few pounds. I came in leaner than that to get the amateur Olympia win.
No way. So
Yeah,
once more, still like conditioning that's needed to like that certain extent, but it's still like more so it's the muscle, like making sure you got the muscle and they still want to see that shape, but you don't have to get as lean as bikini.
yeah.
So,
I think when I was doing bikini, I was never like the most conditioned bikini athlete either. And my feedback was always I needed to come in tighter and specifically I needed more tie-ins. So we came in with the same conditioning as the bikini stage weight, but honestly, when I was doing bikini, I probably could have come in a lot leaner just to nail it with the look they were looking for.
so you just, yeah, so you didn't have to do much different you from your like best bikini look. It was like Swan, the bikini girl turned fit model, but
Yeah,
the difference is like your posing routine and your suit.
yeah,
And that was about it, right?
yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel about hitting that front pose for fit model versus the bikini front pose? Like when I ask how do you feel like do you feel like one is easier than the other?
I honestly think the fit model pose is harder to nail. And I think it's also person dependent because like one front pose on one person won't look exactly right on a different person. So it's all about like how you pose should be what looks best for you and what brings that balance that the judges are looking for because everybody's shape is different. I think fit model does lean more heavily on just your natural shape too. So that's another factor to consider when you're switching divisions. If that's something like if you're going from bikini to fit model, just your bone structure matters a lot more for fit model, I feel like.
Talking about like the overall balance from bone structure.
Yeah, because I think like the main thing I've noticed with the girls that are going pro is that they usually will have a smaller waist or a smaller frame in general than somebody that's bikini. So I think generally you'd want to have just like that very tapered look from your upper body to your waist and then just more fullness in your legs and glutes.
Yeah, because with that front pose with fit model, you're not rotated straight. Like, well, some bikini girls they rotate straight to the side or a little bit
Yeah.
angled, whereas you're kind of a little bit more straight on. Yes, your hips are tilted and rotated slightly, but it's more of a straight on pose to the judges.
Yeah, I think it depends on the person. Like for me, I'm more straight on, but I know some girls would do more of like the twisty, like kind of the classic bikini twist where you've got your waist more sideways and you're twisting your upper body towards the front. So it just depends on what looks good on you.
Got it. Yeah. Just watching and like analyzing photos of the winners at the different pro qualifying shows. It's been fun to see what kind of look each person brings. Another thing I've noticed is that some will have a closer, like their foot position will be a little bit closer, and then some will be wider. Have you noticed or have you got
I
feedback from
have.
judges about like that, like posing and what they prefer?
I haven't gotten feedback from myself specifically, but I've heard other girls that do more of the twisty motion that the judges don't like it as much on them, so I think they prefer it more straight on.
Mm, yeah, that's fascinating. And what about like with the shoulders? Is that pretty much, do you feel like that's more of a straight on thing too to the judges or
I
a
think
little?
that's where like a lot of variability comes into play because I have noticed that some of the fit models that have like the more developed shoulders, you probably don't want to be as straight on because it makes you look more like shoulder dominant, and they want balance. Like they don't want sharp edges in any part of your body for fit models. So if you have very like jacked shoulders, you kind of want to minimize that in your posing.
Yeah, and it's easy to put like bring one shoulder back a little bit to
Yeah,
make it look a little bit
kind of like
softer, not as
soften the look. Yeah.
yeah.
I've heard a lot of the more shoulder dominant girls, they don't pump up backstage, which I'm not one of those, so I have to like pump for dear life because I don't have like huge shoulders.
So yeah, still like the things you're saying, it's like you're still doing all the same things that you did for bikini. Now you're in the fit model division,
Yeah.
and I think that is super cool. I wish they had fit model back in like 2017, 2018. Well, I guess fit model was because fit
That's what it
model,
was back then. Yeah.
yeah, it was. And I just have been late to the game. Like I'm just slower to build the muscle than the direction that it's headed. Yeah. Um, with talking with other fit model pros, is there been any sort of theme with like the different girls that you're talking about, like shows that you're looking at or things that you're doing in the off season to help with whatever sort of feedback you got from the judges and what they're looking for you to bring to the stage? Any sort of talk
I think
with it?
right now it's kind of been harder, just especially for the girls that are turning pro later on, because I think a lot of us aren't really getting feedback. Like I know for me, I didn't get any feedback to work on, so it's kind of like playing a guessing game on how to come in for next year for the pro debut. I think because I've heard like a lot of people say that the judges don't know what they're looking for, but I think they have a general idea. It's just kind of waiting until the pro shows come out to nail like the exact look is kind of where it's headed. So it'll be interesting whenever the pro shows start next year, especially with the bikini athletes switching over, and then a lot of people coming out of retirement to compete again with the new division starting.
Yeah.
So that'll
And
be interesting.
so, like you were saying earlier, Ashley K is the standard for fit model right now. That's what they're referencing as her look from that 2015, 2016 timeframe. And right now there hasn't been any like clear like current winner that people are saying like this is the look.
Yeah.
Can't you help but wonder, like, will we see that at the pro shows, or will it be like once we get to Olympia, then there'll be more of that standard? And until then, we're still kind of like,
I think we're all just kind of sitting and waiting until Japan, because that's like the first show of the season where we'll have like some idea of what direction to go towards. So we're all just sitting around waiting for it. Because I know a lot of the girls that I've met are doing Japan, so that'll be exciting. Because one of them is going to be like the first Olympian to qualify.
it's really
It's like I'll
exciting.
probably know that person.
Yeah, right?
Cool.
It'd be so cool. It's so cool. And so it sounds like you're not planning for Japan.
No, I need a break.
So how long was your prep that you did this year? Or did it kind of go 24, 25? Like, was it like a longish prep?
It's kind of like I did shows. I did 4 shows in total this season. So my first one was June, and then I did the Texas Classic show, and then Janet show in September. So it's been just like back-to-back shows almost. So I haven't really had a long break between preps. And then after nationals last year, I only took like 3 months off before jumping into prep again.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just giving myself a break just to deal with life things and just enjoy the holidays without feeling bad about stuffing my face with holiday food.
And just enjoying. So this is
Yeah.
a great segue into like current things.
Yeah.
Well, the first I want to bring up is I had seen a picture of you and your husband. You guys are you recently married? I feel like you just celebrated your anniversary or something.
Yeah, we've been together. Oh my gosh, I don't know how long we've been together. We've been together over a decade, but we didn't get married until last year. And then we did the
Okay.
whole Las Vegas Elvis wedding thing.
I
So it's
love
pretty awesome, like being able to get married last year in Vegas because I was in prep, so I wasn't able to fully enjoy it. And then getting my pro card again in Vegas in the same month that we got married. That was
that's so
pretty cool
fun.
to be able to celebrate.
Was he there with you when you won your pro card?
No, he was at home doing dad duty. He had to take one for the team and stay home with the kids.
I get that. My
Yeah,
husband never gets to travel with me, like
support
never.
staff at home.
So Las Vegas for your wedding last year, and then this year earning your pro card, but without your husband there. But still, so like so much fun. And Stephanie was there. Your coach was there, right?
Yeah, she was able to be there. So it was
It's
really
so
awesome just
cool.
having her there. You could hear her
I
screaming in the crowd when I won.
I saw the video that because Paul was recording her from
Yeah,
like behind her, and that was the cutest thing ever because she is your first, like, you're her first pro win.
yeah.
So you're her pro athlete, which is kind of a big deal. You're extra special now.
Yeah, it's been awesome just having her as a coach because I've heard so many stories of people having just terrible coaching experiences and just feel fortunate to just be able to find like the right match for me with just the first round because apparently that's pretty rare.
Yeah, it is. That's really, really cool to be able to have that good like level of communication and understanding and those type of things. It really makes a big impact
Yeah,
on the overall quality of the coaching and everything from your preps to your off season. So with your off season, it's been how many how long ago did you win? Okay, well before like just a minute. So here we are at Amateur Olympia. You not only won your class, but you took the flippin' overall. You were the overall winner.
I know it still feels weird to say. Like I think it's been probably a month and a half now, and I'm still like digesting that I actually won the show because I wasn't expecting to even win my class.
Like,
I was like,
when
oh, mind blowing.
it was so incredible. So incredible. You get the big trophy, you get the fun pictures, you get bragging rights, and all rightly so. Like you were the best there was. And really cool. Like it was just really fun watching from Instagram. Like always just like I'm always like watching the updates to see what's going on.
Thank you for watching from afar.
Yeah, and seeing all that. And I saw with your trophy, you've been putting some boots on
Yeah,
your trophy. Is that the one? Yeah.
yeah, because I broke it on the airplane actually, so I had dropped the thing like 20 times everywhere else, and it was when I got on the airplane, I was pulling it out of my bag and yanked it out the right way, and I guess it broke the ankle. So like I had that moment where I was like, okay, this broke. Like I worked so hard for this trophy, and now it's broken. I kind of want to cry, but then I started laughing because of course it would happen to me. So I just decided like, oh, okay, ankles are broken. I'll fix it when I get home. And then I was talking to one of my friends, and she suggested using like modeling clay to make the boots out of. So I was like, okay, I'll do that and make it festive.
It's so cute. I'm like, I didn't know that it broke. And so I was like, this
Yeah,
is adorable. Do you have it close by?
it's in my kitchen actually, but I can run and grab it really fast.
Yeah, you should. You have to show everybody
Let me.
what she's done
I'll be
here.
right
You guys
back.
have to see. And I even saw that she was talking about trying to find she had like a little mini sombrero to put on top of the trophy model's head, which she couldn't find at the time in her stories, but maybe she'll find it in the next little while. So then she'll have like, yeah, look at this. It's so cute.
Got little cowgirl boots because I was running around with my red cowgirl boots in Vegas during the week.
And it's like you have so much talent. Are you an
Well, thank
artist
you.
or like those
Yeah,
boots
I
look
was an artsy kid growing up, so it's given me like a lot of opportunity to just play around with stuff, with bodybuilding stuff. So
that's so cool. And it's a fit model pose, which is
yeah,
even more cool. I love it. Such a
but I
fun
think that's
trophy.
part of why I enjoy bodybuilding so much because it lets me tap into just that artsy side of my nature. Because it is kind
Yeah.
of an art with all the because you are kind of like your own version of modeling clay in a way where you're kind of slowly adding things to meet whatever criteria of the division you're looking for. And then the posing itself is just a different art that I've kind of like enjoyed nerding out on a lot too.
Yeah, and even going to your suit choices, because in bikini, you were wearing a black suit, right? Didn't you wear a
Hmm.
black suit for a little bit?
Yeah, I did. Also, I loved your black suit, by the way. I
Thank
think we
you.
might
I'm
have the
like,
same one.
I was like, I remember like you were one of the first people I saw with the black suit, and I was like,
Yeah.
I really like the black suit. It's really
Because I
fun.
think it looks really good when you have dark hair too. And I think you have the one with like the red crystals, right? The little
Yeah,
accent crystals. Yeah. I think that
yeah,
always looks really good with people with dark hair.
it's super. And then you wore a pink fit model suit.
Yeah.
I love that too. And but you didn't wear that for Amateur Olympia. You wore a different color, didn't you?
I know I wear the pink, yeah.
It was the pink. Maybe was it Battle of the Bodies you wore a different color?
I think it was the Texas show where I wore the black suit.
Okay, that's what
Yeah.
it was. So it was the pink. Yeah, and I love the pink too. It's just like never really talked to you much until now, but it just you can tell like that's your personality. Like you can wear the black, you can wear the pink, and you just own it. And
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
you can stand out with that. And I think that's a big part of the presentation is being able to come out and highlight that personality for the judges to draw you into your presentation as well.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the underrated things with Fit Model is just having that confidence on stage really makes you stand out just because the suits are so plain that you have to find other ways to make yourself kind of like have them pay more attention to you than the other competitors. So I think just having confidence really does help a lot.
Yeah. Um, what with the confidence thing too, walking onto the stage, do you find that just walking onto the stage, that comes really easy for you? I know a lot of people that's
So,
okay. So, because that's like the judge's first impression is when you
yeah,
walk on the stage, right? But having that confidence from the first step, I think that you do a phenomenal job. So it's
thank
like
you.
amazing
Yeah,
that you're like,
like
no.
the posing part, like when I first started competing, that was one of the more challenging things, I think. So whenever I told Stephanie I wanted to compete, she recommended me go to they were having a seminar posing was in Texas, so she recommended I go there just to check it out. And I just remember I had gone to shows just to see what it was all about, and I like everybody that goes on stage makes it look super easy, and then you get there and you try to do it yourself, and you're like, oh no, it's not easy at all. So I had to practice a whole lot with the posing stuff. So think practicing, just lots of practice helps with the confidence factor.
And did you ever hire a posing coach, or is that just all comes with your time and effort and
Oh, I think I
research?
hired like all of the posing coaches. So my first year I used Daraja and she helped me out with just a lot of the basics and like she was just a very calming force with posing because I looked terrible when I had my first session with her and she was just very nice about it. So I highly recommend her if you want somebody not to laugh at you when you're just like flailing around not knowing what you're doing. And then I also use Sheila Brown and she's a group posing coach out here. She I think she helps Freddie out here with Battle of Texas, so she does group posing classes out here. So I use her a lot, and I think that helps with just getting into a group situation where you have to do comparisons. So I found that really helpful for that. I went to all the posing seminars they have out here in this area, so I'm fortunate enough to be in Dallas where they have like all the bodybuilding things available out here. So I just
Yeah.
signed up for everything. And for fit models specifically, going into Amateur Olympia, I used my friend Brittany Shea. She does posing and she's a fit model pro also. So she helped me kind of chisel out my posing because I think before Battle of the Bodies, I had done Texas Classic and I didn't come in looking my best. So I lost some of my confidence there and she helped me gain that back with the posing.
Good.
So I used all the posing resources I could.
Yeah, and I think that's such a key factor that a lot of athletes don't really think about until it's too late, unless they have a prep coach who's like really aware of that stuff and like, oh, you need to get on this ASAP. But
Yeah.
there's a lot that goes into it, and like you said, you want to try to make it look effortless while also looking calm and collected and like being able to listen when the judges call your number and doing the comparison thing. That's really cool that you're able to not only do some one-on-one stuff with like Deraja, but also the group posing. that gives you so much experience because it's really hard to emulate what show day's like without that type of experience that you can get that practice in.
Yeah, because like you think you've got it, and then you get up there and you're just like a deer in headlights, and it's all just muscle memory from that point, I feel.
Yeah, I hear so many people say like it was an out of body experience. I don't even know what
Yeah.
I did on the stage.
It's really funny because I remember for Amateur Olympia, because I know our class was pretty competitive. I actually thought Myra, who got second to me, was going to win the class. So, like, they had us up there for an eternity. So, like, I was up there shaking and I thought I would look terrible. And then I rewatched the video and I was like, oh, I look pretty good. Like, I'm not shaking, I look calm.
All that practice, it just took over. Yeah.
But yeah, that's something I'm wanting to work on is just the posing endurance because I was up there just like everything was cramping up and I was like, oh no, like, I don't know how long I can last doing this.
It's yeah, it's hard when especially when they're like, okay, back and forth,
Yeah.
walk to the back, come back, switch here. And so you win, you win the overall, you get the pro card, all the things. How did you celebrate? What did
I
you
think um it took me like the whole week. Like I didn't process that I got the pro card until like my plane landed home. And like, when you're waiting for everybody to get off the plane and you're sitting there waiting, and that's when it hit when they turn the lights on and everybody's like getting ready to leave. So I start just like bawling my eyes out in the back of the plane. I'm like, oh my God, I'm a pro. So that's when it hit. But like the whole week before, I was like, I'm waiting to wake up from this dream. Like, when's it gonna happen? So that's kind of like where I was at, where I didn't believe it actually happened. So I was processing it. So I don't think I fully accepted it until I got home.
I love that. And I mean, it is hard to, like, because we all go in like, it's like we want to win. We want that pro card. But the difference between like, we want that versus like expecting it, it's like everybody goes in wanting it, right? But there's only a few very fortunate people who actually get it at each show.
Yeah.
And so it's just one of those really sweet moments, and it's so fun that you've got video, you've got photos, there's like multiple angles of video, like all this like fun way to relive it over and over
Yeah. And it
again.
was just a cool experience too, turning pro, like amateur Olympia, just because you're surrounded by all the Olympia festivities. So I was walking around with my little trophy because I had to like move hotels like 3 different times. So I had to lug the
Yeah,
trophy with me. So I was like walking through Resort World with the trophy strapped to my luggage, and like there were just IFBB pros walking by, and they were congratulating me, and that was awesome to experience.
that's amazing. Yeah, that's like, I mean, that is the top place, the top show to get like pro
Yeah.
qualifier show. I think it's pretty elite. So it's like really cool. Overall
It's
winner
pretty
that.
awesome too. I ran into Maureen and she congratulated me. I think it was before prejudging, maybe. Or no, I
Huh?
think it was before Meet the Olympians. I ran into her and she told me congratulations. I was like, this is so cool and surreal.
Amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely incredible. So now here we are, about a month and a half since you've earned your pro card and are officially a Fit Model Pro. And tell us about your reverse. Talk to us about what's going on with that.
Man, the reverse, I had all these lofty plans to nail it and be one of those people who are like, I've only gained 1 pound and it's been 2 months, but that didn't happen at all.
You're a human.
think I'm human, and I think I've just given myself more grace this season because I kind of did the same thing last year after nationals, where I like was one of those people that gained 20 pounds 2 weeks after my show. But back then, I wasn't mentally prepared for that, so I kind of like spiraled a little bit for a few months and then got back on track. But this time, I'm just like more relaxed about it and just letting myself be human and learn from the experience, and eventually I'll get it. So I'm not stressing out about it as hard.
Practice makes better. I'll never say
Yeah.
practice makes perfect, but it's like the more you do it, the better you get. And I think like you were sharing a picture or a video of you posing right now, and it was a comparison to, I think it was like your peak week, and just the change in your physique from then to now. And while while it feels extreme to you, like I was looking at it, I was like, she looks beautiful. And I think that
Yeah.
even though her plans didn't go the way that she wanted, I'm like just like the grace and the vulnerability of sharing everything and staying open with that, but then also just the way that you look too. Like it's a very beautiful look, it's an everyday look. But I also think that what you have to share, I believe that a lot of athletes can relate to that, because we see the leanness on Instagram all the time. We see how lean everybody is and when they're getting ready for a show. But a lot of people, once they move into their improvement seasons, we're not seeing them very much anymore. They kind of disappear and hibernate, and you're
Yeah.
not doing that.
Yeah. I've had a lot of competitors reach out just saying they're going through the same struggles, and it's nice to see somebody that's a pro going through the same things. So I think that's why I've just been more open to being transparent about just the process of me not exactly nailing my reverse and just continuing on to post updates with where my physique is at.
I absolutely love it. I think it's so relatable and it helps people to see that pro athletes are humans and we don't always do things according to what our plans, like plans adjust and you still keep showing up. And that's
Yeah,
exactly what you're doing. And not only that, you've got 2 plates per side on the glute bridge.
I
So
know, right? I'm trying to work my way up to 4, so we'll see.
yeah, you'll get there in no time. You're
Yeah,
eating the food and recovering well, and it looks like you are just like in the season of thriving.
yeah, I am. I'm enjoying life and letting myself eat more food. Maybe not the best food for me because I'm dealing with heartburn issues like all the time now, but
No.
eventually I'll get it reeled in. But right now I'm just enjoying life and giving myself grace.
I love that. Do you have any plans for like looking at any potential shows, or are you still just kind of like taking it easy and not stressing too much about getting back on
I
stage yet?
do have shows planned. I know I'm gonna try to do Pittsburgh, which I think everybody's doing Pittsburgh, so that'll be a huge show for Fit Model. So that's one to watch if you're paying attention to Fit Model to try to see what it's about because I think all the big Fit Model pros are gonna be there.
It's gonna be so
It's
good.
gonna be a huge lineup. So no, for sure I'm doing Pittsburgh, maybe a show before that, and then if Sasquatch has a Fit Model Pro show division, I'll do that one. I really like the Sasquatch trophy, so I'm trying to get that.
That's right. It's oh my gosh, it's little like what do they call it? Sasquatchy or
Yeah,
something like that. It's
'cause I've been obsessed with that thing ever since I saw on Ashley and Adam's podcast when they put a little suit on him. This is like I want one.
yeah, it's so the little green suit. Oh my gosh, that's
It'll
so
go
right.
so well with my amateur Olympia trophy with her cowgirl boot.
You could just dress up all of them. That's what you need to
Yeah.
do. Like it will become your thing. Every trophy that you win, you're going to dress it up. However, will be fun.
Yeah, one of my friends suggested that I have just all the Fit Model pros donate something to her, a little item, miniature item to put on her.
That would be so amazing. And then if only it was small enough so you could pack it to each show. So then it's like
Traveling.
the lucky little charm that you bring everybody has to rub her head or something like that
Oh,
before
that
they
would be
get
so
on.
funny. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like rub her boots for good luck.
Yeah. It'd be so funny. So, I mean, you don't just only compete.
Hmm.
You're married, you're a mother. Do you work? You
Yeah, I work full time, so I work in accounting and I work in management, so I manage a team of accountants for a security company, which
Wow,
is
so
also
busy.
part of the
How
reason why I don't mind not being lean, because when I'm stage lean, like the brain function is just not there at all, which is hard to get through a workday when you're staring at numbers all day long and you just have no brain cells to put together to like create any action, like thought action.
yeah, numbers and then people like managing your team and stuff like that too. That's a lot
Yeah,
for your
it's
brain.
really stressful. So actually, the day before Amateur Olympia, I had to work because it was quarter end, so I couldn't get out of it. So I was working from the hotel room, and then the day after the show, I was working.
No way.
Yeah,
So, like, I was going to ask you how you manage, between work and everything like that, but I think that you just gave us the answer. Like, you
just take
figure
work
out how
with
to make
me
it
to
work.
make it fit. Yeah,
Sometimes you just got to make it work. And I think that you probably have the same mindset I do of like, we choose to do this. And
hmm
so it could be really easy to complain about it. This is also a very expensive sport, but we choose to do it. What are some other ways that you manage, like getting your training in and different things?
I know after Janet's show, I was at the gym 3 times a day because I would have to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, go to the gym, get my training in, go home, get my daughter ready for school, go back to the gym to do my cardio, and then in the evening I would have to do an additional hour of cardio. So I was there 3 times a day. But
Breathe.
like you make it work, so if it's important to you, you'll find a way.
Yeah, and waking up at 4 a.m.
And I'm not a morning person at all, so that was just like one of those things where I had to just talk to my husband and be like, "Hey, like make sure I'm up. Like you have to force me to get out of bed. Like whatever the cost is, just like get me out."
Push me out. Were there days that he had to be like, "All right, now you need to get moving. It's time to go," or were
Yeah.
you were pretty good at making it happen?
There were days where I wouldn't want to leave, and then he'd like have to just like push me by telling me, "Oh, like oh, you must not want your pro card," and that would get me out of bed. It was like, "Yes, I."
Guilt tripping you.
Those are a lot of just getting my husband involved and getting the kids involved too.
Yeah, making it a family thing.
I think that
Were they so excited?
they were. My daughter was really excited. I came home with the crown. She got to wear it, so she was really excited about that.
So fun. Getting back to off-season stuff and a little bit of like that confidence of being able to share yourself, whether you're in prep or in off-season. How do you think you got to that point of just that confidence, no matter what season that you're in?
I think it's just been something that's built over time, and just doing bodybuilding has helped tremendously with that. I think it's taught me that I have control over however I want my body to look like. So right now, being lean isn't a priority, so I'm just allowing myself to just not be stage lean and walk around with a little bit of more insulation on my body. And I think it's just being comfortable in your own skin is just something that develops over time if you develop the right habits to foster that.
Yes, the habits. And then that confidence follows when you are doing the things that you know and checking the boxes. Yes,
Mhm.
so much. What what advice would you give to those that are looking to compete in fit model division?
Practical advice I would give is just be prepared for a roller coaster ride emotionally. Especially the first few seasons, just because everybody's very confused about what the look is that they're going for, and then sometimes you think you fit, and they tell you you're like too dense or you're not dense enough. So that's kind of a hard pill to swallow a lot of the time. But just enjoy the experience, and then also if like fit model doesn't work, you can always go back to bikini if that's something you're transitioning from. So it's not something you have to tie your identity to. So I think that's where a lot of people get really stressed out is like the identity thing. So it's like you're allowed to just switch divisions. Like you don't have to anchor yourself to one or the other. So if you outgrow fit model, then you can just go back to bikini or vice versa.
Love that. I love that. And I agree with you that identity and even just as a competitor, a lot of people feel like that's what they have to carry all the time. But I think that, and I like to say that competing is what we do, but it's not who we are. Like there's
Yeah, for sure.
like all of us, we're so complex and we've got so many amazing things. Every single athlete that's out there that it's not that competing is the only thing there. It's like something that enhances our everyday life. So I love that identity that I think that's so important
I
to
think that's one
remember.
of my favorite things also about being backstage is just meeting all the different competitors back there, and everybody's got their own story. And a lot of the people I've met backstage just randomly, like whether it be backstage in the lineup or getting the tan when we're just back there all just not clothed.
Right?
You just like get to know each other really well, you know?
You become
It's like,
good friends like really
yeah,
quickly. And the thing is too is like it's hard I think it's hard to make friends as an adult,
it
but there's
is.
something about this industry, this sport where those women that you're backstage with, they can become some of your closest and like most like bestest friends even though we don't see each other that often. It's just like through social media we're hyping each other up, we don't live next to each other. There's something about those friendships that are developed. I
Yeah,
agree.
it's like the coolest thing too, because I know like people from all over the world, and like I had after the Amateur Olympia when I had people from just like Asia and Europe and all over the place just messaging me, telling me congratulations. I was like, oh, that's so awesome.
That is amazing.
Yeah,
It's so cool. It really is this like big worldwide community. So we're almost done, and I appreciate all the time that you've spent and learning more about you and sharing with everybody about your experience with everything. But before we go, I want to ask you one more question. And that is if you could go back to when you first started, what is one thing Or a couple things that you tell yourself.
My gosh, that's a hard question. Just believe in yourself and enjoy who you're becoming in the process. 'Cause I think when I first started competing, it was just like a lot of self-doubt was involved with just getting to the stage where I went through a situation where I didn't think I would even make it up there before prep even started, where I had a PTSD flare up. So it was just like a lot that happened before prep even started. It's pretty heavy stuff. Like, just enjoy the process. Like now I'm in a much better place. So it's been really rewarding, just the whole journey for me. Bodybuilding has kind of saved my life, and I've heard that said from a lot of people. I can say that's true for myself.
Just, yeah, learning to believe in yourself, enjoy the process, and immerse yourself in it. It really, there's a lot of, like in other aspects of our life, that confidence that we gain from bodybuilding and getting up on the stage, it goes into other areas of our life. That's what I've seen personally. It sounds like it's
Yeah.
been the same
'Cause
for
it,
you.
it takes a lot of courage to get up there in front of all these people that you don't know in a tiny little bikini to be judged by a panel of people.
Yeah, it's very true. And like us, like you were 35 when you first
Yeah,
started. I was 34, like the same thing when I first
yeah,
started. And so it doesn't matter what age, they're always
it
going to
does
have
not.
those nerves, but it's never too late to start. And so just believing in yourself, such good advice. Well,
Absolutely.
thank you, Swan, so much for your
Thank you,
time.
Valerie, for having me on. It was an honor.
And you guys, if you want, I highly suggest following Swan on Instagram. So her handle, and I'll put it down here. It's X_Vanquisher minus the E. And do you have any other like website or anything else to share with the
I have a
listeners?
YouTube channel, but I'm not doing anything with it right now. But it
Well, what
should be
is
the
it?
same handle. I think it's
Okay, it
under
is.
X. Yeah,
Okay, so same handle for the YouTube. If she decides she wants to start vlogging, then that's where we can
I'm
find.
contemplating doing like a Road to Fit Model Pro debut series
Oh,
next year.
that would be fun. I
So
love that.
that'll be a project.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, thank you again.
Thank you,
And
Valerie.
yeah, we'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye bye.